High in the Himalayas, where the air is thin and the borders are tense, even a light in the sky can become a national security concern. In 2012, military personnel stationed in the Ladakh region of northern India began reporting repeated sightings of unidentified luminous objects near the border around Pangong Tso Lake. These were not isolated reports. They occurred dozens of times over several weeks, drawing the attention of multiple security agencies. Witnesses described glowing yellow-orange lights, often appearing low on the horizon. Some said the objects appeared to rise slowly, hover, drift for long periods, and then vanish without sound. Importantly, these sightings were reported by trained personnel, soldiers and border forces operating in one of the most sensitive regions on Earth. This was not a place where imagination was encouraged. It was a place where misidentification could have consequences. As reports continued, the sightings were evaluated through official channels. Technical consultations were conducted, and air defense monitoring was reportedly involved. One detail appears repeatedly in coverage. The objects were seen visibly, but not consistently detected on radar. That detail has fueled speculation, but it also has ordinary explanations. Radar performance can be affected by terrain, altitude, distance, and the reflected properties of an object. A radar miss does not automatically mean something extraordinary. So what were these lights? Several possible explanations were discussed by authorities and analysts at the time. One suggested they could have been Chinese lanterns, released across the border. Others raised the possibility of misidentified aerial or atmospheric phenomena. None of these explanations were publicly confirmed as definitive, and this is where uncertainty remains. No complete technical report, including raw radar data, optical analysis, or flight logs, has ever been released to the public. The exact nature of the objects was never formally identified. Later, India's defense minister stated there was no conclusive proof that the sightings represented unidentified flying objects in the extraordinary sense. That statement closed the case officially, but it did not fully explain what was seen. What often gets overlooked is the human reality behind these reports. When you are stationed at high altitude, watching the disputed border, you are trained to think in terms of threat, not wonder. Every unknown light must be evaluated, every anomaly logged. These were not stories told years later for attention. They were reports made in real time, under real responsibility. When trained observers report repeated anomalies, but the explanation remains incomplete, what matters more, the official conclusion or the unanswered details? The Ladakh sightings were not confirmed as extraterrestrial. They were not fully explained either. They remain a cluster of observations in one of the world's most sensitive regions. Where lights appeared, questions followed, and certainty never arrived. Sometimes the most honest conclusion is the hardest one to accept. We know something was seen, but we do not know exactly what it was.